Ring the bell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Slam Society. Welcome to our review show here of WWE Bash in Berlin from August 31st from the Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany.
Oba.
I am Karlifornia. This is JOOZEWA. How you going, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Last night, right here on the Slam Society, of course, we hosted our Bash in Berlin simulation. Check it out if you're into that kind of thing. But here today, we're here to review the genuine article, Bash in Berlin 2024, the pay-per-view emanating, of course, from Berlin. And I personally thought it was a pretty good show.
That's right. Saftige Junge. That's JOOZEWA in German.
Saftige Junge.
Saftige Junge. Anyway, bro, let's get underway. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. What did you think, JOOZEWA?
Well, I think that this was a good, though not great, championship match. I think that, of course, as we mentioned last night, it's the FGC, the foregone conclusion. Why
not the FC?
Don't look at me like that. We knew that Cody was going to retain. I'd give the match a B+ in ring. I thought it was a great way to open the show. What I enjoyed most about this match, bro, was that they didn't do all this crazy stuff that was going to take away from the other big matches that were going to be happening later on. And they just had a good, solid match that felt like just a solid contest. And you could say the same about the other championship match between Gunther and Randy Orton later on in the main event. But I feel like in a separate way, we opened and closed the show with just two solid championship matches that kind of anchored the entire PLE, as they're now called. Fuck you, it's a pay-per-view. But
it's
yeah,
not a pay-per-view.
I thought this was a very solid outing. I liked the little bit of business done at the end where Cody kind of tries to help Owens off. Owens kind of shoves him off. It's kind of a little tension about, is Owens finally going to do his trademark thing and just turn on Cody out of spite, because that's what he does best. That doesn't end up happening. Good. Cody tries to hold Owens' hand up. Owens doesn't let him do it, and then holds Cody's up again. So it's like, but there was still that look of resentment on Owens' face. In fact, I don't know if you saw this, bro. There was a great camera shot afterwards where Cody kind of gets Kevin Owens to calm down. Owens looks pissed off. He's lost. They finally do the handshake. They go in for the hug, and like they're doing the classic embrace of respect. And the camera is behind Cody Rhodes, and you can see this just look of deadness on Kevin Owens' face.
Right.
That Cody obviously isn't seeing. Then the two of them left together, and so I thought that may have even been more impactful than the match itself, because I think that Kevin Owens turning heel could be an interesting direction to go, because it seems like they've got plenty of baby faces at the moment. So yeah, I liked it overall. Anyways, go ahead, bro.
Lovely, mate. Look, it's not a pay-per-view, JOOZEWA. We don't pay per view anymore.
I know, but it just sounds better.
It does sound better, but you just can't do it anymore. It's just not right, mate. Okay. There's no encore presentation that you can also buy a few days later. It's either you just buy it and that's it, and you can watch it forever.
Yeah.
Binge, Peacock, etc.
You can be like one of those losers that turns
excuse me.
Turns AEW on while they're at WWE.
Oh yeah, no, I was watching Collision. Okay, so yeah. Again, loving the international pay-per-views in the stadiums, the German fans chanting, good stuff. The 2 counts, eins, zwei. Very good. I like it. the babyface versus babyface is tough, especially for me to be invested in. But the additional story of will Owens go back to being a prick kept on creeping up, but he didn't. He held strong, Juicy Boy. The one thing I didn't agree with in this match was, and I know you don't like this spot either, when Cody hits a crossroads and then picks him up for another one. He hits his finisher twice, and then Owens hits a stunner on him, and I'm like, no, come on, boys, this isn't a triple German suplex, where they hold on. It's his finishing move that he's supposed to be able to hit once and win with. So come on, man. Don't agree with it. Anyway, that's just one little nitpick. Yeah. So it was a good match, but it's not like it thrilled me, because the story going into it wasn't something that I was gripped by, but that's okay because the other matches seem to have more of that. And we'll move forward from here, Juicy Boy. Women's tag team titles was next. Jade and Bianca Belair challenging what's the unholy union. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Oh yeah, I like a bit of Isla, mate. Do you? I was hoping that the Scottish girls would go over here. I think it would have been good for them to maybe be established for a little bit longer. But then again, I know people will be like, oh, but like, how does Jade and Bianca get back in the picture? But that's really easy to fix. But anyway, I liked the hot spots, the hope spots for a hot tag. I was very impressed with Jade's hot tag, the jackhammer, all of that stuff. Really cool. And I hope she's starting to slowly but surely silence those critics of her ability. And Jade and Bianca won the tag titles, and Jade stopped Belair from losing, with a nice save there. But yeah, this was really good, and I'm happy to see that the women's tag titles are starting to get a bit more focus, even though the men's tag titles haven't been represented on PLEs since WrestleMania. I don't think it matters so much. Juicy Boy, your thoughts?
Yeah, C+ for the match. I thought this was a great outing for, as I like to call them, the female equivalent of the Road Warriors. That is Bianca and Jade. I thought that this was probably their most heated performance as a tag team so far. I thought that the energy was really clicking between the two teams. I think that Isla and Alba Fire, I don't think anyone really expected them to have a really long reign with the championships, but nonetheless, I think that in the time that they did hold the belts, I think that they established themselves as an interesting act, because I think that they've been relatively over, perhaps more than people expected when they first won the titles at Clash at the Castle. So, yeah, this was enjoyable for me. It was nice to see the audience getting excited about women's tag team wrestling. I like that we had a clearly defined babyface and heel side as well, and they actually followed the rules of a tag match, which is unfortunately refreshing to see these days.
Yeah.
Anyway,
also refreshing to not have multiple tag teams in the title match.
Yeah.
So it's refreshing not to have everyone shoehorned in on the pay-per-view with 13 matches. Not taking any shots at anyone in particular. I'm just saying. Let's move forward. Strap match. Yeah, bro. Here we go. Here's the business. CM Punk drew fucking McIntyre. He's from fucking Scotland. I want you to take it away, Juicy Boy, and give me your expert analysis.
Is it not? Yeah, that's right. It's my turn. Okay, so I am giving this match an A-, brother.
Really?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought that this match was, if it's the end of the feud between the two, I thought it was a fitting final chapter for now that they can pick back up later on if they feel the need to. And if it's not the end of the story quite yet, I think that this was still a fitting place for the feud to be at this point. Although something tells me that they're going to wind it up and move both guys towards something else.
Right.
I did see a little promo from Punk after the show where he said that he was going to be watching the outcome of the World Heavyweight Championship match, and he said that that was his next goal. But the match itself was physical. It was heated. Both guys went through a lot of damage. I think that Punk has probably gone a ways in silencing some of the doubters that were questioning his like physical capabilities,
Yeah.
because he
Well,
looked great throughout this, and Drew looked fabulous as well. I think now, yeah, like
this,
I like the classic finish with the heel hitting the turnbuckles and then the babyface hitting the buckles after him. But then they put the spin on it of having Punk sort of go, nah, screw that. I'm gonna send a message. Essentially, he hits a GTS for each corner that he hits as he goes around. Punk gets the victory. Bing bang boom, as Pat Patterson would say.
bing
Everyone's excited.
boom. Yep.
This was an excellent match, my friend. Over to you.
It's funny how, like, even though you just said like Punk starting to silence the critics, like I still see people, oh man, he's broken down. Like, I don't want to see this broken down old man. Like,
That's not what I saw.
I didn't see that either. I thought he did a very good job in both matches so far that he's been, back from the injury. No signs at the moment of him re-injuring himself, so that's good. Um, I don't know if you picked up on this. I can't quite remember what the scenario here was between Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which was so refreshing having
Oh
Wade
yeah,
Barrett on the call,
yeah.
man.
That was because whenever CM Punk was doing anything, Wade was basically saying like, oh come on, that's crap. You got to stop that shit. Like, and then whenever Drew was doing the same thing, he'd be like, this is just what you got to do. You got to
Yeah,
be
he's such a
ruthless.
hypocrite.
There was that there was a couple of moments like that in the show where Wade was like really funny. Like I love when he yelled at Kevin Owens in the opener, and then Owens yelled back, "Shut up, you idiot!" Like, and then
Yeah,
Wade
that's right.
starts going, "What's he looking at me for?" Like,
He's so good, man. He's definitely
yeah.
my favorite color commentator at the moment. Um, but yeah, God, I don't know what they were doing. They were talking about they were talking about Wade Barrett's dog, but it must be his partner's dog because
Mm.
he was complaining about it and he said, "It's not my dog. I hate the bitch." And I was just like, that's so like his partner's probably watching and she probably give him a smack when he gets home. Um, anyway, I like the suspense here. I mean, strap matches can be difficult because you got to tap each corner, but I guess it helps having those lights. The red light for Drew, the green light for Punk. So like that's a nice little visual there, and I think that they did good with it. I always kind of groaned over like bull rope matches and things like that, just for that aspect. But it worked for me here, brother.
Mm.
They didn't make this all about the bracelet, which people were fucking shitting on last time. But it was implemented at least at one stage. He got the fucking thing back, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore. What did you think of him? He's almost had it sorted. He's almost won the match here, but then he goes and he hits Drew with another GTS, and then another one. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did like it because I think that even though I like it when a babyface is not flawless, a babyface should be capable of being overwhelmed by their emotions and stuff like that. So yeah, I like the fact that, you know, Punk is not completely focused because of what Drew McIntyre is doing to him.
So the next pay-per-view or PLE, sorry, will be Crown Jewel. Do you reckon Punk will challenge at Crown Jewel? Do you think he will be a hypocrite and actually wrestle in the Blood Money
Mm,
country?
well, yeah, I think he'll probably end up doing it.
Imagine the reaction on Twitter.
I think he'll end up coming out in an interview and saying, "Yeah, well, I said things back then that were probably over the top." You know, he said
Yeah.
something similar about comments that he made. He will have to either walk that back or stick to his guns. So there have been wrestlers that refuse to go over there, like Daniel Bryan didn't go over there. Um, Alistair Black didn't go over there, and that was because they just had issues with it, and they just said, "No, I'm not going there. Fuck that.
Yep.
I'm not taking their money." Like Alistair Black just straight up wouldn't go because of how they treat women over there. Brian Danielson had similar feelings about it. Like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Fair enough. Okay, well, let's get to the next matchup here for Bash in Berlin.
Yeah.
I think my favorite match on the show, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan taking on Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. This is fun considering the backstory. You know, like you look at Liv and Dom, right? Great little, you know, couple there, but their opponents are Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, and you're like, there's no way they're going to be able to get through this one. But you have the added element of, you know, Balor and McDonough and Galito. So the story makes this mean more than just wanting to see people hit cool moves. I love the showdown with Dom and Rhea. The crowd erupt for it. Some really good stuff here, you know, like she's about to hit the riptide on Dominic, and Liv manages to stop it. See, it's just little things like that. Like you want to see Rhea finally get her hands on Dominic and hit that move and wipe him out. Love the involvement from the Judgment Day. I thought it was over after Dominic hit the 619 and the frog splash, but they got me. They got me, dude. And Riptide on Liv, and it was over. And yeah, I think match of the show for me. What did you think?
Well, it wasn't match of the show for me. However, I'm going to give the match another A minus, and it's an A minus for a different reason from the strap match. And this one was because, as you said, bro, there was a exciting, interesting, entertaining story that's been woven throughout the weeks and months leading up to this. That I think, you know, it's the equivalent of the popcorn segment of the show where everyone can just. It's kind of like that at the moment. I feel like it's filling in that Jerry Springer soap opera element that wrestling fans enjoy. And I think the match itself was definitely elevated because of that, but the match in its own right was really good. I think this was one of Liv Morgan's like best performances ever in terms of timing, physicality, just being in the right place at the right time to execute stuff. I thought that there was just a frenetic pace to this match that the crowd was really into. I mean, this is what happens when you actually invest time into stories like this, is that you end up with multiple different matches on the show besides the main event that the fans have reason to get excited about. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's going after the soap opera kind of aspect of storytelling. And then you got like the White Six, which is kind of like covering like a horror type thing. Punk and Drew, you know, that's, you know, a blood feud. You know, so I think WWE is really doing well right now with the long term stories and the payoff for you know, there's just seems to be a lot going on, and you know, whilst you have those long term stories, there's still those short term angles that are woven through,
Yeah.
which don't need to be prolonged.
Programs. Feels like we haven't had program like short programs in forever.
I
They're
know,
getting
and
like
like what?
Michin and Nia Jax have been having a program on
Right,
SmackDown.
really.
Good little program, yeah.
Isn't it interesting, like how things have changed so much? And I really missed the days where, like, there's so many feuds going on, but not all of them need to make it onto the PLE or the pay per view. And so that means that it's important to still watch the weekly TV because that's when you get to see all those different payoffs that aren't on a larger scale. Anyway, let's move forward to the main event here, Juicy Boy. Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton. Big one here for Gunther to, cement himself with his first big PLE title defense. Juicy Boy, I'm going to get you to take this one away because I've got fuck all notes because I must have accidentally deleted them last night. So please.
All right. Well, I enjoyed the match these two had at the King of the Ring. I wasn't impressed with Sami Zayn beating Gunther. And so to me, this rematch between him and Randy Orton, this was the classic match that I think was needed to finally cement Gunther into that top guy position. I mean, a lot of us already feel like he was there, but let's face it, a win over an established top guy still means a lot, even in 2024, if it's against someone like Randy Orton. And I think that 34 minutes in total length, including the entrances for the match, they started it off slowly. There was grappling. It felt like there was jockeying for position. Gunther selling the damaged arm throughout impeccably, never forgetting that it was in pain and that he was selling it. Randy selling his back expertly. Just the facial expressions of both guys, the impact behind the strikes. They didn't do anything crazy or dump each other on their heads, and yet you still felt like, oh, this is a physical match. So I loved it. Loved Orton's reaction to the kicking out of the RKO. I loved the fact that the match eventually ends with the sleeper, but there were several different instances of Orton getting out of the sleeper, using that instinct to counter out of it. I thought this was just a fantastic match. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was the right result because Randy can take a loss like this and it doesn't affect him one bit. He comes out tomorrow on Raw and he's still a megastar. The show of respect afterwards, I don't necessarily think it's an indication that Gunther is turning babyface. However, I do think it's an acknowledgement that the fans really respect Gunther. So they're sort of vicariously through Randy Orton acknowledging that he's, one of the top wrestlers in the world. So it's an A+ for me. This was my match of the show. It just ticked all the boxes as to what I really enjoy. And it's still just such a pleasure to watch Randy Orton perform. Because for so many years, like I was just starting to get into wrestling when he first joined Evolution. So I've been there for pretty much all of his career. And, I've taken him for granted a lot of that time. But he's still
that
around.
sounds so dramatic, taking him for granted.
It's kind of true, though. It's kind of true.
Like he's your boyfriend. He's an old boyfriend.
It's kind of true. He's always just been there. So you kind of like, oh, yeah, it's Randy Orton. Like, he's pretty good. I see why he's a top guy. But in any case, yeah, really good main event. I think it was the perfect way to finish the show. And I really think that Gunther is going to hopefully have an influence on future wrestlers in teaching them the value of that old school style and how to maximize it while still mixing in some of that modern stuff here and there.
By the way, I made a little bit of a mistake earlier. The next pay-per-view is actually Bad Blood in October, so maybe Punk and McIntyre will have a Hell in a Cell match.
I'm hoping to see two big bulls going at it, man. After Big Bronson Reed splashed Braun Strowman through that car. Did you see that?
No, I've not seen that.
So I'll quickly tell you about it for you. So last week on Raw, basically, Braun Strowman ran off Bronson Reed when Bronson was about to do one of his attacks that he's been doing. So they end up having this brawl through the backstage area, and it's like quite physical. Like it's a pretty brutal brawl. They're hitting each other pretty hard. They go out to the parking lot. what is it? Braun chokeslams Bronson onto the bonnet of the car. Then Bronson gets back up. They do some more shit. Fucking Braun does that running pounce thing and sends Bronson back over the car again, and he bumps like right on the concrete. Anyway, something happens. Bronson ends up putting Braun on top of this car, then climbing up onto this wall above the parking lot and just splashes him through the roof of it, and the whole car just crumbles. It was so
Really?
yeah, man, you gotta look it up.
Like,
Awesome.
how are they letting these people go that far with a fight backstage? It's wrestling's so funny, dude.
Yeah, no, you should check it out. So anyway, I'm hoping
I
at
will.
Bad Blood we see that, and I'm hoping that we see the rumored Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood too.
Cool.
All right, your thoughts on the main event, and then we'll get to everyone's favorite part.
You know what? I've really not got much to add. You know, what you had to say there was pretty good. The only other thing I wanted to say was like there was a Mexican wave at one stage, and
Yeah.
I thought Orton was really smart because he joined in, which killed it. They stopped doing it after that, so they started paying attention to the match. They probably just those German fans were probably just having so much fun that night. Like, yeah, let's do a Mexican wave. Okay. Um, let's look at some tweets here, bro.
Yeah, can you send them to me or something so I can see them?
Um, hang on. I'll send them to you right now, mate. But yes, while I'm sending it to you, what's the theme song for this segment?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Here we go.
Come on.
Bad tweets, bad tweets. Bad tweets, bad tweets.
Is that a little bit of too high of an octave for you there? You're coughing.
Still choking down the water.
All right, I've sent them to you.
All right, here we go. Bad tweets. Let's do it.
The first one here, from at Levy Writer. So it's a picture of Rhea pinning Liv Morgan, and he says this the kind of shit on screen when you're watching a movie and someone walks in. So true. I thought that was fun.
That is true.
So that wasn't a bad tweet. That was a fun tweet. But let's get to some bad ones here. The next one was from at Da Sport Chatter, not the Sport Chatter, Da Sport Chatter. Hashtag WWE Bash. Worst show of the year / decade. What?
Like what? Where do you even get that from? Like,
what went wrong for it to be for the decade? What, since 2014? Jeez.
Yeah, like.
What do you think, bro? Is that just a bit too much or what?
I think that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. We've seen this before. Where? Where did you see a German-born heavyweight champion retain against Randy Orton? Where have you seen the women's tag team titles change hands like before with two women of color in a foreign country? Where have you seen that before? Tell me where you've seen it before. No?
Okay. I don't know. I looked at the rest of the guy's timeline and I'm like, oh, I think there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
The next one, Juicy Boy. So a guy under the name of IC3E Ever, whatever. His name's Too Cold Scorpio, but it's not Too Cold Scorpio. I don't know why people do that. Bash at Berlin just dog walked this shit out of All In, and the real one pops up. WWE Real One. LeMayo, ain't no way, man. All In was pay-per-view of the year potential. AEW does pay-per-views right. I guarantee Bash at Berlin was mid.
Okay.
You hadn't even seen it.
Yeah, you guarantee it was mid, but you haven't even fucking watched it, man. Real One, I will just seriously just.
I just want to trick the life out of him.
Just want to go like.
It has to be a troll, bro. It has to be a troll.
As I've said before, bro, and we'll say again, if it is a troll, it is like the greatest troll, at least wrestling related, that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one here, at ZT4SYT. Of course, it's the Fed. 5 crap matches that could have been done on weekly shows and a feud over a bracelet. Laughing, crying emoji.
Um,
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 uh,
fucking shut up. I think like, of course it's the fit. So first of all, they weren't crap.
I don't know
Second,
how anyone could draw that conclusion.
yes, they could have been done on weekly shows, but that's what AEW does, and that's why they're not making any real money.
Owned.
Um, and a feud over a bracelet. Well, you know, maybe it would resonate more with you if you actually had loved ones that would make you a bracelet like that. You
Yeah,
know,
bitch.
just because you don't have a partner or like, you know, any significant other that gives a shit about you doesn't mean that other people can't relate to it. Fuckhead.
Like, bro, like my granddad passed away a few years ago, and I asked my nan if she could give me something of his. It didn't matter what it was, if it was like his favorite coffee mug or something like that, whatever. And she gave me his last wallet that he ever had. Now, there's no real worth to that wallet for anyone,
No,
but
it's just
if
like
someone took that from me, I would be fucking fuming, and I would want it back desperately. So, and it's just his wallet, you know. This is like you know,
yeah, like
a cute bracelet.
so
Anyway,
yeah,
I'll move
fucking
forward.
idiot. Yeah.
I'll move forward. Um, at awkward girl, sorry, at awkward girls art. Um, she said these matches sucked. WWE has lost its creativity. I think this is where I end my watch of it. It doesn't have enough for me to remain entertained when I can predict every second of the staged matches due to the storylines. Every wrestler is still amazing though.
All right.
That
So
doesn't sound like a human being wrote it.
like I don't want to make someone fun of someone who may be on the spectrum, but like assuming that this tweet is genuine, then this person has not been watching wrestling for longer than 5 years
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all. Because only if you've not been watching wrestling prior to about 2018 would you feel this way about wrestling. You know, I think that, and I'm not trying to gatekeep for anyone, but I really think that in order to truly understand the differences in WWE over the years, you have to have at least gone back and watched, you
Mm,
know, events that took place in those times,
yeah,
like, to really get it.
yeah. Yeah, just I don't know. When I read it, I was like, I'm gonna read this one out because like it just didn't seem like it was written by an actual person. Because like saying when I can predict every second of the staged matches due to the storylines, I'm like, did you put
Could
that
could
through Chat GPT or something?
could be English as a second language or something like
Possibly,
that.
possibly. Anyway, she's wrong. So,
Yeah, so wrong.
um, Uh, okay. David J at AEW Dave. So there we go. This picture's got him wearing an AEW shirt.
Ugh.
Well, that PLE fucking sucked. Lol.
Um, how do I even do this, man?
It's like who cares? Like who gives a shit anymore, bro? Like they're not gonna like it. They still watched it, but they're not gonna like it because it's not AEW and you know.
Yeah, we're giving this guy more credit than he deserves. There was 2 comments on it and 41 people saw it. So yeah, that's what people think of your fucking shining opinion, bro. But well, no it didn't. All in kind of sucked though.
A lot of these
Uh
tweets are just the same thing. um
and yet I never tire of it.
at 72 underscore Leanne. Not happy with WWE and Bash in Berlin. It really sucked. If I can sit and read a book through the whole thing, then you know it was bad. What the fuck?
Okay, all right. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. Um So they feel strongly enough about this that they want to tag the company like as if they're a Karen complaining about a supermarket, and they want to use the hashtag for the pay-per-view, which just gets WWE more engagement.
Yeah.
And then they felt strongly enough to like embolden the word sucked. And then they don't use any punctuation, so it's just a run-on sentence. But here's the thing that obviously is just driving me out of my mind about this tweet, bro. If I can sit and read a book through the whole thing, then you know it was bad.
Maybe the book was really good.
Number one, if you're watching a pay-per-view, a PLE on TV, why are you picking up a book and starting to read it? Number two, we don't know what kind of attention span you have. Maybe you're someone that's way more into books than you are into TV, and you just would rather read a book, in which case, I don't know what that has to do with WWE. And then if I could read a book through the whole thing, then you know it was bad. What? I don't fucking know you. I don't fucking know you, bitch.
I don't know you, bitch. Dude, like, here's the thing. If you were reading a book, then you weren't watching it.
Yeah, so how the fuck would you know? Oh,
I can't do two things at once like that. There's no way.
Not happy with WWE and Bash in Berlin. It really sucked. If I can sit and read the book through the whole thing, then it's also supposed to be like there are no commas in there. Like, and there's no full stop. And so you can read a book, but God help us if you ever try to write one.
Yeah, you stupid bitch. Okay, at TJR Wrestling, they put out an article about Cody Rhodes dances around questions on Vince McMahon. Now, like, I'm not really, there's nothing really there to say about the tweet itself, but it's the subject I wanted to talk about because I am getting so fucking tired of these media scrums and these journalists who are trying to get like a gotcha moment or something like that. They're trying to bring this fucking thing up. They want to dig up some sort of fucking drama with it. He's already been asked about this before. He's already given answers to it before. So what I wanted to say is fucking get over it.
Yeah.
They're not going to fucking comment on it. They don't have any information. They
Yeah,
don't know.
And even if they did, what makes you think
can't.
what makes you think they would even want to? It's like, oh,
No.
okay. And let me say this as well. Like, maybe they keep bringing it up because they're trying to get a gotcha. I think it's less about getting a gotcha. I think it's more about just them trying to get some engagement or some clicks for their site, or like they want to be the one that, broke the clip where they get some quote from a wrestler that they can use to drum up controversy over. Like, the idea
Dude.
of the idea of asking about it constantly. Vince McMahon's not in the company anymore. He doesn't work for the company. He's not like a shareholder in the company anymore. He's done with the company, and I'm sure he's involved in all of his legal shit and all that. But that people have this weird idea that the WWE as a corporation has this whole fucking wing of it that's still invested in whatever Vince McMahon is doing. Listen, the current regime of WWE still learned from Vince McMahon. When there was something cancerous affecting Vince's business, he would cut it out. Like when Jerry Lawler got accused of underage SA, they were like, "Well, we love you, Jerry, but you're on your own," right? And they sent him off to deal with that on his own.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's the same thing here. Well, maybe they do have opinions about Vince, but I strongly doubt that they're involved with him, that they have any sort of real knowledge of what's going on with that. It's just even within the family, like for legal people that are making that kind of money, that are business executives and stuff, they have attorneys and shit like that. It sounds weird to regular people, but even between, like when Bernie Madoff confessed his Ponzi scheme to his sons, the first thing that they did was get attorneys and then go and turn their dad in, because otherwise that would have made them accessories to his crimes. So these people seem too immature to understand the magnitude of what they're actually asking about. I think that you can make an argument that there's value to be had in the public knowing as much as they can about the situation, but I really think that all you're doing when you ask someone at these WWE press scrums about Vince McMahon or that situation, it's like you're just shooting fish in a barrel because you know they have to answer you if you ask it, even if it's to just refuse to comment.
Yeah.
And they're held captive there because of these stupid press scrum things. Oh, Cody Rhodes dodges comments. What do you mean he dodged it?
He didn't dodge it at all. He just said, like...
He doesn't have any obligation to fucking say anything to you.
Like, there's this clickbait bullshit, like, dodges questions. But yeah, you know what? Like, this is what I'm getting sick of with these fucking scrums, okay? Like, I don't watch them anymore because I'm so sick of how shit the questions are.
Yeah.
Like, remember when Brian Alvarez got fucking owned by Christian? He asked the most boring shit fucking question. When was the first time you saw Nick Wayne wrestle and what did you think? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
As if Christian Cage had ever fucking sat down on the and watched his indie matches or whatever. It's just ridiculous. I remember one that really pissed me off was like one of the AEW press scrums, and Tony points out to Dave Meltzer, and it's like his question is like, so where do you think you're going to go, Tony, with the direction of the company after, so many great matches?
Oh,
fucking hell. It's just like, fuck off, dude. Like,
Tony, would you say this show was great or excellent?
So Tony, I just was really wanting to ask after so many great matches, could I get a sample of your cum?
What the fuck? Oh, bro.
Because like... I want to eat your cum.
Okay, Jade Cargill got asked this question. And I saw on Reddit some people were fucking making fun of her, but the guy asked her, all he needed to ask her, because this is what he wanted to ask her, was how has it been acclimating, I suppose, to WWE, and how has Bianca helped you, kind of become comfortable in the WWE environment? That's all he needed to ask. But no, of course, he had to say the letters AEW. We know that you're in AEW. How's, so now he's like turned it into like, what's the difference? And Jay got kind of shitty. And she said, like, you know what? I'm really getting sick and tired of having to answer questions about the other company that I wrestled for. Like, yes, I enjoyed my time in AEW, but I'm in WWE now. Can we fucking get over it? And it's like, stop. I know what you little fuckers are trying to do. Stop doing it, okay? Stop trying to throw in the little letters in there because you want to fucking help your little company that you like more. Shut the fuck up with it.
Dude, honestly, yeah. And it's like, if we're gonna, like, be honest here, I mean, they had MJF come back, and one of his opponents on TV was Kyle Fletcher. They have just had Jungle Jack Perry beat Darby Allin, and then the next night they set up Jack Perry to be Bryan Danielson's first world championship opponent. No one fucking wants to see that. No one fucking gives a shit. Stop fucking acting like AEW is this equal company that's like equally as big and wide-reaching as WWE. It's fucking not.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
Do these people sit there and they think, oh man, I wonder what Cody thinks about Vince McMahon? I'm sure he sits up late at night thinking about, what a scumbag Vince was and how do I feel about working for Vince's company? Like, no. Just the same as Vince used to claim he's not responsible for what his wrestlers do in their personal life, equally as much all these people can just say, look, we're not responsible for whatever the fuck Vince did, but they don't owe that to anyone. I agree with you, Matt. It's time for everyone to just get the fuck over themselves. Stop trying to do your little gotchas and your little scoops and stuff like that. If anything, you're an embarrassment to pro wrestling, all these pro wrestling journalists and shit like that.
Man, I'm just
Meltzer and Alvarez on their podcast arguing like children.
It's fucking funny though. Like
you got Solomonster fucking sitting in his studio apartment in New York acting like AEW is the second coming. You've got dickheads like JD from NY doing misogynistic rants against all the women and basically shitting on anything that isn't something Tony Khan did. and it's just a load of bullshit, dude.
You know what?
I'm
I
so
like
sick of.
Jason Powell. Jason Powell's good. He's a realist. He's a real guy.
Man, I used to listen to PW Torch just to listen to Jason Powell and Wade Keller have their weekly Raw discussion.
You don't hear much about Wade Keller, do you? You don't hear like anything about, like, no one's ever shitting on Wade Keller, are they?
Well, the last time that you heard about Wade Keller was when Bruce Mitchell, that fucking idiot,
Oh yeah. Fucking
continually accused Amanda Huber, the late Brody Lee's wife, of hiding from the public that her husband actually died of COVID. And then she actually repeatedly said, not that it's any of your business, but he like was tested about 30 times for COVID and was negative every time. Like, that's not what killed him. He didn't have COVID. Not that I even owe you that. And then, so then Wade Keller had to fire Bruce Mitchell, and it was kind of looked bad that had gotten past his editorial standards. But he kind of said, like, look, I've been working with Bruce for 20 years. I just basically didn't expect him to write anything that fucking like weird.
right.
And that's the last time I've heard anything about him.
Yeah, he just gets on with his fucking work, and he doesn't, he doesn't fucking try and stir the pot and fuck around and push out false narratives. But anyway, so the cagematch.net rating, I just wanted to talk about here quickly. At the time before we recorded this, it was at a 7.44. I believe it's gone up now to a 7.45. Jeez, boy.
Yeah, well, I don't know why All In is at like a 9 point something then, because it's this was better.
7.45. Let's AEW All In cage match. Let's have a look. Oh, fucking come on. There we go. All In London. 9.16. Fuck off, man. Oh, it's funny shit, dude. It's really funny.
It was funny for the first like 2.5 years. Now it's starting to get annoying.
Well, anyway, look, there we have it. There's our review here of Bash in Berlin, Jooseyboy. Have you got anything else to fucking say? Have you got a rating out of fucking 10?
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really good show. Really
unbelievable,
good show.
mate. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that'll be it then, mate.
Yeah, that's all.
Do you want to say goodbye to everyone, or should I?
Yeah, nah. So that is the end of our review, and make sure that you like and subscribe and comment your thoughts. And if you like our style, all of our non-wrestling related content is on our sister channel, Slam Society Extra. We put the X in pixelated sex.
Oh, yeah.
You ruined it.
No, I know.
I've been Jooseyboy alongside Karlifornia, and we will see you down the road.
Bye. Fucking hell.
Fucking idiot tweets. Fucking stupid.
Oh! All right, catch you later. Catch you later.